Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of TimberPunk 2, where we're making some good progress. Look at all these thorns cleared out of here. Thorns are moving, thorns are gone. We're making progress over here as well. Gonna gain access to all these trees and clear that out of here, which means we can start piling up all of our levees on this back end. We actually cleared this area out too. And so once this drought ends, all this water will start flowing this way. Now, it's not got a place to go quite yet, but we do have the beginnings of a plan to get that out of here. So let's take a look at that. So this is going to be relatively simple. We're going to run through here, put a lot of dynamite throughout all the rest of this, which reminds me I didn't give them access to clear the rest of that out. So that should be easy for them to do. So we're going to blast through here, keep everything on this level, and then run that this way, and that should just feed right into this. And I think what we're going to have to do is have this 3 deep all the way back to there, and then we're going to have this 3 high, just so that we don't have any water spilling off the side. I don't anticipate that being an issue based off of the strength of these 2 water nodes over here, but it is something for us to keep in the back of our nugget as we continue to move along. We'll go ahead and get the game back up and running 3 times speed where it belongs. Let our beavers continue to work their heart's content. Once they have this one set of thorns out of the way, we can get somebody in here on a lumberjack flag, ripping through all of the rest of that stuff for us. And we can just go ahead and swap those guys over to bots as soon as they are in. I did swap out one of the positions for one of the hauling posts with bots, because we are cranking out bots like no one's business, and it looks like we're still continuing to do so. This area down here is still staying nice and irrigated, so that is nice. We've gone through, I think, a 20-day drought to this point, and everything has stayed well and irrigated. We're just filling this in slowly but surely. This is pumping water in and going into here, and in turn filling in this pool, which in turn fills in the rest of this pool down here. In theory, that shouldn't cause any problems with us or for us. I did do a little bit of cleanup down here. I put in a place for us to start producing eggplants in the background, and I fed this power line underground so that all of this is nice and clean, and we got this irrigation barrier up so we can have all of this real estate as a place to plant. So that is really nice for us. And I still haven't done anything with this side yet. We haven't gotten into here. We'll have to get over here sooner rather than later to gain access to those underground ruins. But that is a problem for future me until we actually run into an issue with our... Why are you guys... Oh, I didn't tell you guys to cut this down. My bad. Now you can cut that down. There you go. Get all that lumber. Eat all that lumber. That'll be beautiful, and we'll give you a nice place to store all that right in front of you too. So that'll be good. And then that can in turn feed all the rest of this as we come in and block this off, I suppose. We can go ahead and start doing that and start feeding that in as well. That will slowly take its time, and we're going to have to not block these guys. Is his ability to not get stuck? Question mark? Oops. We'll rescue those guys really quickly. We've got a little bit of lumber planks right here, so we should be able to build this up pretty quickly. That'll get cleared out of the way, hopefully really fast. And everything through here shouldn't take too long to fill in. We might have to clear a little bit more of this out, just so that we can keep working our way back here. And I did realize while we were walking or carrying through a lot of this stuff that you can now build bridges over the thorns at 1 high. So that means that we can work down and through, as opposed to having to wait a gajillion years for them to eat through one thing of thorns at a time. So that means nice things can be accomplished relatively quickly. Now, how that's going to play out into all this, I'm not entirely sure. We might build some bridges out over this. Maybe that's a good thing that we can actually tackle. or we'll just let them continue as they are. I'm not entirely sold one way or the other, but I am happy to report that things are trucking along quite nicely, and that makes me really happy, because that means that we don't have to continue to fight all of the things for the next eternity. Now, we might do that here-ish, so they can do one on either side. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, okay, sweet. So that's going to look something like this. We're going to have to demolish that piece right there, and then that looks something like this, and then this goes forward, and then this goes and gets demolished as well, and then we can keep working our way up here and then out like this, and then we can have them rip out these thorns down below without too much issue in theory. Now if we tell them to focus on that one, focus on this one, we should be able to go ahead and start placing this bad Johnny in right there, and then they'll be able to gain access to that once they finish tearing that out, so that'll get into place, and then so on and so forth back there. Now I just want to make sure that we aren't breaking anything. These guys are slowly working their way through all of that, which means that we're going to have to give them a pathway back to here so they can gain access to all of those. Once these trees are out of the way, they should be able to reach that. So that shouldn't be a big issue for them to do any of that. So that will be good. They are slowly tearing through all of that for us, which is Gucci. You love to see it. We can do a little bit of the same thing back here. Do something like this. Then do something like this. And then give us this path. Or not that staircase. That staircase. Give us that. Flip that around, and then we can just tell them to rip out the rest of this for us. I don't think we care to rescue the few onesie twosies in here, so that will be fine, like such as and how. That will be fine. I want you guys to get out of there, please. I think if we rip this out, they should all leave. Hopefully, maybe. Please leave. Now? No, they're not going to listen. They're just they're going to chill. Go ahead and put that in there, like such as. Go and throw this in right here, and then we can throw in our thing right there. And they're just going to be a bunch of turds about this whole thing, so we'll have to probably just come rescue those guys, which is most likely what's going to happen, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. We'll give that a position right there. They'll keep working that, and we'll probably continue to do the rest of that along the side. We don't really need to do that, but it makes me happy. Theoretically, that should make a lot of people happy, because then we have less of a concern for our beavers in the future, you know. Get some of these guys out of here. I want that cleared, and I would love for this to be cleared as well. And then with that in the way and taken care of, we should be able to tackle this, and I want to give this stuff a priority on the edge here, so as soon as that is accessible, we can get them tackling that. So that means that we probably want to put this system along this side sooner rather than later. We have a lot of beavers that are now stranded. Let's get them rescued, because we're blocking their way out. Is oops, it's fine, everything's fine. We're gonna get that slapped in. Probably could make their lives a tad bit easier by bringing in another power system, but the moment I do that, or the moment that gets built, it's gonna start flooding down here, so I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet. I think we also might want to come back here and throw in a levee here and here and here and there as well, just because I anticipate that being a huge issue for us. So that means that we're going to want to throw that in there, and that means we get access to that and that. So that means that probably not want to do that, but we want to do something like this and that. Probably don't need to put that in there. It should be fine, just like such as throw this in, throw that in there, and then they should have access to all of these. And that should be simple. Allegedly. We shall see. And we'll probably give that a priority at some point, but they are working on this over here, which is technically the more priority, question mark. Really don't think that these are actually doing much for us, honestly, because they're already ripping through here a lot faster than I can build the suspension bridges. So I don't think that that's the juice is really quite worth the squeeze there. So we're just gonna rip those out. Sorry, guys. Just oops, that was a lot of lumber and everything I just destroyed on accident. Oopsie. It's fine. They'll continue to work through here. That's fine. That's working its way quite nicely. And we can go ahead and start throwing in these levees along this back edge as well. And I'll not place that levee system there quite yet. We'll throw all of that in right there. And then they will continue to tear through the rest of these trees for us. Get this prioritize and get some haulers moving some lumber this way because we're going to need that sooner rather than later. And now we can start thinking about how this is going to look. I would like to do triples all along here. And then I would like to do triples here and then doubles here. We'll run doubles all the way back here like this, 3 wide. That'll go this way. Then we'll do 3 wide that way. I need to get rid of that piece right there. And then we do singles here. No, we need to do... I think we need to do triples there too, actually. So this needs to be singles back here. Singles all along this road right here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. And I need to do doubles or triples right through there. So let's give ourselves our path back, please. Path reconnected. Thank you. Get this path reconnected back here as well. So I need singles all the way back to there. Then we do triples all along this line, such like this. And that means that now we do doubles here. And then singles down this way. And that should put us in a pretty good spot as far as that is all concerned. Of course, we're going to have to rip that suspension bridge out and we can just put it in a staircase and that'll be totally fine. Totally acceptable. And we may even... see, we'll blast that out too. We should have all of the material on hand for that to easily go in. The point of contention that I have right now is making sure that this is or stays connected while we work our way through here. You guys are all bored. That is the end of that drought. Now we can get back here, tell them to rip the rest of this out. Rest of this out. And I can fire you guys. Go home and do something productive with your hands elsewhere. Gotta do that. Now that's going in. We could probably throw in a platform right there. Rip that out, and rip that out. Give us access to that point right there, and that should gain access to all of that. And now we can come back in here, throw in our levees on this backside, and continue to do that all the way through here. Now let's see here. I think this is where we would want to actually tackle this like this. So game, stop the autosave scare, please, and thank you. So we're going to throw that in there, this right here, and then we'll do triple across the way. No, quadruple across the way that gets us access to that. And then also access to all this and so on and so forth. So that should be achievable. Now they're going to be busy doing all the building now instead of the other stuff that I would like them to be focusing on, but that is fine. And of course, our haulers and builders are doing all of the fun things. This is working as advertised. We have capped this area off. And since we put the levees all the way around it, the irrigation has stopped, the negative irrigation, which is really Gucci. This is all in. They got all of that in, so that is good. Even as this side fills in, that should not backfill and cause any problems for our build or future build, in theory. This is moving, so that is good. Water's still going pretty strong at the 27,000 units. I did want to throw this Bad Johnny in. I came over here and cleaned a little bit of this up so that we can turn this on and run power through and over to that, which looks a little something like this. And that'll provide us a little bit more juice, and I believe that's every single one of these tapped over here. I don't think there are any more aquifers available for us to tap on this end. How's this coming along? I haven't given them access to this on this side, which in turn means I need to build that staircase, and then that gives us access to that, which means I can probably turn you on. And as soon as that gets put in, you can get down here, tear that out, which is totally fine, totally acceptable. And another thing that I wanted to do is get over here and start putting in irrigation ponds of some sort in this area so that we can, or in that area, I should say, so that I can plant more trees, actually. I want more trees and more sustainable and controlled tree irrigation, which means a couple of things. Now I need to block their access to this point here soon, which means waiting for this to finalize and also rescuing that bot. It means putting in that Bad Johnny right there, waiting for the 3 logs to go into there, and now we can actually start throwing in the levees onesie twosie into this area down here, and that will be good for us. We will pause the demolition of that. Actually, we'll hit the demolish, but okay, so we can't pause the demolition of that. We'll let them work on that, and then we'll keep working our way through. We might actually have to tackle those two, actually, just so we can gain access to that tree right there, which is going to prevent us from getting forward, which is annoying, but it's acceptable. Can you guys finish this, please? I would love to rescue that bot. This is filling up about as fast as I thought it would. Those 0.2 systems over here really don't push out that much water. But it is free water, and that means that we can continue to fill this up even more. This is in, this is connected. Now we're producing even more water over here, and that is brilliant. You still have nothing to do with in range, but we should have... You should have access to that. Nope, they have to rip that out real quick. Now you can gather those and gather that, and now that, and that, and that, and that. And then that's everything cleared out over here, except for this random Bad Johnny right there, which we do have to clear out so we can place all the levees around the outer edge here, and that's what we want to do. Now we want to also empty that out. We also want to destroy pretty much everything up here, because that is all going to be flooded, and that's not conducive to our ability to actually gain access to all that. And I think we can also grab access to that and have them come and empty that out. I believe we're probably full on eggplant storage, which reminds me we've got to plus up our max storage capacity down here, which is not cool at all. You have nothing to do with in range again, so you are fired. And that is Gucci. This is going nowhere. I need, again, storage. So let's see what we can do about that. I want to put in some more large warehouses down here. Not how that's supposed to go. That goes like that. Boom, 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 boom. Now I would like to see. I want canola seeds there because I don't have storage for that. Cassava base goes there. Corn goes there. Eggplants go there. Mushrooms go there. We've got eggplants already. Corn goes there. Coffee beans, future proofing. Algae can go there. And then this other one can be... I don't know. Gears? Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing. A good use of that material. And now we go ahead and rip this out. Nope, that's not what we wanted to rip out. We want to rip this out. And then we also want to throw this bad Johnny in right there. And that goes right here. And then that in turn looks like this going to there. That goes there. Path goes on top of there. And then we just grab this and we rip that across like that. Now, this is, again, not the most optimal way of tackling this, but it does the job, and that's all that really matters. And that's all I care about right now. Now, we have a bunch of bots, again, with nothing to do with their hands, which is a good problem to have. This is flooding. Why are we flooding? Hello? You should have stopped. Oh, this tube is actually full now. Alrighty then. So pull it down to 13 flat, maybe? And that should no longer continue to fill in this side. Pull this down to 1.7. And that should stay closed for a little bit. And then we shouldn't have to deal with this flooding issue, this off and on again flooding issue, hopefully, maybe. We have too much water. This is a good problem to have. I'm happy to have this problem. Like, really, really happy to have this problem. Yeah. Settle down, water. I believe in you. How are we doing algae-wise? We don't have very much storage for algae rations. I should probably change one of these to be algae rations. So you will be algae rations, and then somehow have a place for eggplant storage already. Okay. I'm not complaining about that, so that's a good thing. And that will provide us with copious amounts of foodstuffs forever, basically. And that puts all of our beavers in a very happy spot as far as total food is concerned, so that is good. I would love for you guys to come over here and rip this out for us, and in turn also continue to place the rest of these levees here. And let's go ahead and throw in our staircase right here. And I don't really think that... Yeah, so we're at 1.7 days left on this temperate cycle. Everything seems to be... Oh, I didn't put a place there. Okay, that's fine. Didn't seem to... What was I thinking? I was thinking of something. I was wording in my brain. They're not going to be able to do this for a few seconds because building priorities are elsewhere, which means this is going to be... Wait, you guys can't reach that? Oh, I know. There we go. Now we're connected. Now that should get finalized, and that should work there without too much consternation. Great. How is this coming along? This is not filling in. We might have to pump water into this system somehow, some other way. I also need to start prepping. Oh, I should have just prepped this as a staging. I ripped all that out already. That's fine. We will replace all of this. And that's fine. Logs, obtain, you obtain for now. We'll go ahead and copy this across the board, and we'll also prioritize obtain, just so that that is prepped for this next build that we're going to be tackling over here, and it will be a brilliant. How much does this hold? Oh, that's a reserve warehouse. Okay, never mind. Cool. Let's two things. I want to tear this out. And they can tear that out while also placing dirt, which I should get over here as prioritized obtained, as opposed to logs in there. And you guys can come clean up this mess for us, and that'll be good. Let's go ahead and fill this hole in like that. We can also rip out the rest of this pathway right here, and that'll be a good thing for us to do, and that will be a grand. And how? I would love for this to fill up a little bit more. Are there any more? Am I missing any down here? I think that's all of them capped. Yep, they're all capped. They are all capped and all producing water for us, which is good. Just not filling this in. Well, obviously we're filling this in. So once we get this rolling over here and pushing water this way, that'll be a little bit better for them. So that will be good. I want this actually covered there. And I would also love for this to be right there. And I just realized I caused a problem for myself because I didn't let them tear that tree out. That's on me. Get that out of there and let them work on that. I should have remembered that the tree was going to be a problem for us. But we have 1.5 units of water available right there. And we could, in theory, have them come in here and... Well, I want to rip these out real quick, actually. Can we rip that out? Go ahead and throw in our scavenger flag here real quick. They can work on that for a few seconds, and then we can actually get them out of the way on this side. Let's probably, well, why are we stranded? Why are you stranded, my guy? Pause you. Rip you, rip you. Get a staircase in here. Come on, we'll rescue you. Don't worry. I don't know why you were down there in the first place. You ridiculous, ridiculous bot, you. As soon as this gets ripped out, then we don't have to go down anymore. Unless, well, other than filling this in. These are being filled. That should be built here in 6 to 9 seconds. And again, we have a metric ton of beavers or bots running around, which is not a bad thing. Oh, I never actually tapped into that. There, now we have a few more logs. That'll be nice. So that's going in, and that's awesome. That last plank is being carried by you. No, you're carrying a log. The last log is going in right now. Well, that's good. And now we can start tacking in this levee system like this. That's something for them to work on while everything else is getting thrown in, and that can come out. We can rip that out so we don't get any more beavers stuck anywhere. It's always a good thing. We can rip that out there as well, and now we can throw in all of that, and there we go. So it'll take a few seconds for them to fill all of that in, but that's totally fine, totally acceptable, and even desirable. In theory, they should not get stuck, and that's, again, ridiculous things. Okay, So while this is being built, that also means the other thing on the backside is not getting built, which is kind of stinky, but we are tackling 2 mega projects all at the same time. Do we have any storage for bad water? We do not. We don't have any grease. Water, extract, extract. I think we're full on extract. Don't really have much in the way of storage for extract, honestly. How much did this fill up? It almost filled up all the way, so that is good to see. Do we go ahead and clear this out? I think the answer is yes. So let's go ahead and put this in right here real quick. Swap you out with the bot so you can rip out those last few pieces of scrap for us. Come on. Come on, Ironbot 376. I believe in you. There's 6 pieces of scrap there. Just need you to just roll on out here and take care of that. And then we can fill the rest of this in with more water. And so if you guys didn't know or didn't catch this, this area right here was open while all of these blockages were in the way, allowing for the water to backfill and flow out this way. So it basically hid itself from us the entire time that this was active, which is why we didn't really catch it out of the corner of our eye. It was only this tiny little area just covered in thorns, which was preventing the irrigation to spread, which meant we didn't see it that easily. So that is why that was like that. Can you come throw this in, please? Can somebody come help this bot out? That would be great. Then we can also empty those out, and we can throw our explosives on there. It'll be good. Let's see here. What are we missing? I want to actually get down here and put that explosive in that one spot right there, which means throwing that in, which means also taking that out, putting this in. And I would also like to give these guys a max priority because they will continue to plant all of those levees over there for the next millennia while we place these things in, which is acceptable. You know, I'm okay with that. You do not need to be in there. I would like to recoup that scrap, and I would also like to get into here. I've seen this a few times. I've looked at it a few times. There's a little bit of planks and explosives down in here, and I think there might be something else. Maybe. Nope, it's just that, which is fine. You know, planks and explosives are always good. I like planks and I like explosives, so that's always pretty Gucci. Can we get this done, please? I just want to throw that in. I think we can just go ahead and toss that in right there, knowing full well that we're going to run into this issue. My pathing is just getting much worse and worse as time progresses. I apologize to no one for my inability to draw a straight path, but it's fine. Okay, I need y'all to plant this one dynamite and then go away. Really don't think that we need to do this, but the one time that this is like a 9-day temperate cycle is the one time that this is going to overflow, and I'm going to lose so much water on the backside, and I'm going to be distraught, and I don't like being distraught. We might blast all this out, but I don't think that there'd be much juice or much worth the squeeze in that regard. Okay, we have all the explosives planted yet? No. Explosive, please. Then we start ripping out staircases as we go. Haulers are actually coming to clear this out, which is fine. That's what I want them to do. Okay, that's all empty. That means that that can go away. probably shouldn't have ripped all that out, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. That was really silly of me because there was a lot of lumber in there that they could have used to actually build all this for us. So, whoops. That's on me. But that's okay. This is fine. I think we can... Did we need it to go 3 high? I think we needed 3 high, right? Okay. I think that's okay. All right, this can go away now. Let's rip this out right here. I want them to go home, which in turn allows us to rip this out once they're done running about the cabin. I don't know what you're doing there, dude. What you doing? You came all the way out there just to tap something for like 2 milliseconds and then go away. My guy. Go home. Go home. Okay, that goes away. This becomes a double here. You can grab those planks. You can give me a max priority on this, and then we can check on this all around here. Dirt is going in. Logs are going in. That is looking beautiful. I don't know why that one piece didn't go in there, but that's fine. All of that is in. So this is all done. Now we can empty that out, empty this out, empty this out, and probably empty that out. No, we won't empty that out. We'll just hit the regular button on that one. That's fine. All that lumber can go elsewhere, and that can be taken care of, and we can say, yay. All right. No more do we have beavers running around down here, so we can blast that out. No more do we have beavers running around there, so we can blast that out. Now, we shouldn't have any more beavers running around here, so we should be able to blast this out. I will go ahead and throw in this triple dynamite right here, though, and that should be easy. And I do want to actually clear this out. So I want them to come and do this real quick because I want to drop down here, run back in this area. What are you sat your bum down right next to a job to do. You are such a turd. All right, we can blast that. That's not going to cause any problems for us. We'll blast this out. We'll throw this down. Grab this path, run this back here. And then I would like to blast this down. We should be able to reach that. This should be simple. Hopefully simple. Stairs are in. That means the explosives are going in, which is fantastic. So, since we don't have water moving over here right now, we can pump this out and run that over here to do all of that for us. I'm going to empty those out. Get that out of here. We can empty that out. We can empty this out. That's already empty, so that can go away. That can go away. That can go away. This can go away. That can go away as well. That is being cleared out. Oh, so many bots just ran through here. That's all of the builders that are bored out of their mind right now. They don't have anything else to do with their hands, which is not a bad thing, you know? Now, we could spend 15 years trying to fill this up with water dumpers, but that's no fun, right? That's no fun at all. Maybe this is too excessive of an area. We could... We could make little pockets I think like one dumper can one water fluid dump can fill an area of like a 20 by 20. Don't quote me on that number, but I think that's the number that they can actually facilitate. We could do that over here. So let's go ahead. I want to rip all of that out. We'll rip this out. We can get over here and collect this stuff real quick, just for giggles. Connect that up, connect that up, connect all this up, and then have them come empty all this out. So empty you. Don't have a place for you to go. Don't really have a place for you to go. But all those bots are going to eat that grease alive. They're going to be happy little bots for like 10 seconds, and then they're going to be the saddest bots ever. Like, oh, we never got to touch it again. Okay, I wanted to store a little bit more extract down here. So let's do that down here. This is probably the worst place imaginable to store this, but we can do that without too much consternation. I'll give them a place to store that. We're really burning through it excessively, which is sad. All of those bots are now bored. All that bad water. I don't have a place to store additional bad water unless we come into here, which we can do. We have the capacity to do so now. We can do something like this here. Grab that, rip that across, throw this in right. Throw this in right here. And we throw in even more storage for all of our bad water there, and that is a nice place for that. Now all this bad water has just been pumped up by 5 iron bots. Now we could work our way into grease, which consumes a lot of our extract, which is not a bad thing, honestly. That's empty. That's empty. That's empty. That is going to be empty here shortly. This is all empty now, so we can rip all that out. Rip all this out. That can go away as well. That can go away. And so, how do we want to tackle this? Is that empty? No, it's still not empty. You have nothing to do within range. We are slowly running into an issue concerning our bot working positions. Where do we put more bots? I guess we could start replacing our other guys? Sure. This might help our issue pertaining to, well, you guys don't need to be dumping any water right now. You can stop that. Get those guys in there. Swap out some bots here. Swap out some bots there. There's 2 more, another 2 more bots. You, I'll leave you in there, but we'll swap out and put a bot in there, and then we'll swap you guys out. There. Now I have bots doing stuff instead of being lazy. So that's a good thing. Where'd all that lumber go? That's the real question here. Where did all that lumber go? Okay. That's not the coolest thing, but we will rectify that relatively easily. I would like to rip this out here, and I want to put in levee. So we'll do so I want that to go there, this to go here, that to go there. Should be 9, and this should go 10. That goes to there, that goes to there. going to be a lot. You know, we could probably do that at dirt. I like that idea better. Dirt's easier, since we can produce that a lot faster. So let's bring dirt in. I know I keep destroying these things just to put them back, but fine. It gives our haulers something to do with their hands. Okay, so I want this to go like this, and I would like... That's just measuring. We could just measure with the path, right? So let's go 9, 9. All right. I think that's what we want to do. Maybe. Hopefully. Let's rip that out. We'll rip that out. We'll then grab this. Throw that in like there. And then we should be able to reach all of that. Doesn't appear as though that's a true statement. So now we can just do that. Throw that in. Shouldn't get anybody stuck in theory, hopefully, maybe. And get that back there. That goes in there. That is good. That is good. And then what we want to do is probably something like this, 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 this. Take that out. Put in this piece of dirt right here. Rip that out, rip that out, rip that out. Put this back in. Don't want that here anymore because that's in the way now. Flip that around. You can be dirt, obtain, prioritize, obtain. That is already full. We don't need to prioritize that by haulers anymore. We can now turn around and do something like this. Beautiful. Once we get that in, how do we want to save? I want to put this in a position to where we can keep as much of this water as possible, which means probably something like this, and then like this. I don't know if this is the best way of going about doing this. Maybe we'll just have our forester right here, and then our water dumpers on this side. Maybe? I don't know. I think this is all ridiculous and highly unnecessary. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish making out the grid patterns, and then on this backside, I'll plant all the rest of the stuff, and we'll be back in 6 to 9 seconds. So, chillax for a few moments.
Iron Teeth Beavers on the night shift prowl. Little hard hats on take and roll call growls. Blueprint spread on a driftwood crate. By dawn they chant, we irrigate. They gnaw through roots, carve crooked streams. Stack wet logs like puzzle piece beams. Mud on their whiskers. the tail slap glow. Shellfish scouts and crab accountants count each seed like holy mountains. Roots lays deep in the brackish brown, leaf by leaf, a swamp down crown. Fruit drops soft with a plopping sound, and the whole wet world turns feeding ground. For the glory of our Beaver Overlord, hey, we'll grow a mangrove face that can light up the night. Every branch bowed down with the sweetest dripping bite. Chew, chew, chew by the lantern light. For our Beaver Overlord. Whisk, drive, whiskers twitch, moon hangs white. Tails drum once, here comes the night. He wades through roots like a shadowed king. Salt spray crown and a driftwood ring. Takes one bite, then a rumbling purr. All praise the swamp you built for her. Oh yeah. For the glory of our Beaver Overlord, we turn this muddy mouth into glowing delight. Every kid runs wild, every elder eats twice. Chew, chew, chew till the pink sun's bright. For our Beaver Overlord. Tail slap rhythm on the mangrove bark. Iron teeth beaver singing in the dark. Plant, build, bite, keep the fruits inside. Mangroves forever for the Overlord.
All right. It's not exactly done yet, but it looks nice, you know? We're going to have to find a way to make their commute a little less painful. 83 commute is awful. These guys are doing 114. That's it's not the most beautiful thing in the world. But we can get bots over here, and we can get bot chargers. Well, we have bot chargers already in place over here. So we might even just go ahead and do that. We'll, swap out all those positions and get all of those spots filled appropriately. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Swap all these guys out. We're going to lose some bot haulers, but we have plenty of bio beavers rocking around and doing it nothing with their hands, so we can just put those into hauling positions, which is totally fine. And now, with this all in, we will have even more ability to continue planting more trees over here, which will be really good for our overall lumber issue, which is compounding right now. So I would also like to get in a forester probably here and over here as well. And I would also like to get in a couple lumberjack flags along this side. That should be able to cover down everything without any major issue there, and it does. That's great. We'll just grab this, run that all the way across right there. Make sure that these guys get swapped out to being bot positions as well. And I should probably go turn on that bot priority button. But that requires me to run over there and make that selection. And I've already got these guys building this right now. So, yeah. Okay. I need to disconnect this right here. We need to plug this in right there. Trap a few of our beavers in the process. And also throw in our staircase right there so that those guys can go and do things properly. How are we doing on water over here? Water's doing pretty good. This is all solid down here. This is nearly empty. This is dry as a bone. This is still in. We have water here. They did put all this in now for us, so that is good. We can go ahead and rip this out. We can throw in this one piece of dynamite right there, and we can also blast this off. And that should move a little bit of that water that way positively for us, and then we'll close. I want to actually have this open. So that should open and move water out. All of this should flow this way, theoretically. Yeah. Yeah. I would also like to blast this out just so it's out of the way. It probably would have been smarter to just run this with pumps and dump that over the top. Which I will say that you're probably right. It would have been the smarter thing to do. But I didn't do that. So sorry about you. Let's go ahead and throw all that in right there. And mark all of that for chopping, which it all is. That is beautiful. Now let's go pause one of these hauler posts over here. Actually, we'll pause a couple building huts. And I think we had that one. Actually, no. Swap you over to regular beavers. Then I don't think I had any other haulers running around as bots, actually. Okay. You still have nothing to do within range. Why is that? It's pause a few more of these positions. I think we're solid right now on bots. That should have gone in. You guys should have something to do with your hands here shortly. As soon as that guy gets in there and starts planting stuff, they should stop telling me they have nothing to do within range. And they do, so that is good. That is grand. That is what we wanted to see. Now, we also want to go ahead and rip this out. And plant the rest of this with our mangroves. Put that in right there. Turn these on. Which are empty because we don't have any more bots to do bot things. And I think what we need to do is actually put in another bot assembler because we are exceeding our overall demand for these guys. So maybe we do that. Maybe we do that. This is all going in. What are you? Why are you empty? Canola seeds and mangrove fruit. Canola seeds. Why are we so empty on canola seeds? Canola seeds. We're completely out of canola seeds. That is interesting. Oh, we've only got the one strip of canola seeds. That would explain that. All right, let's vamp up that production just a tad bit. Canola, you can go all the way back there. And that can all be canola. We won't be able to touch that, but everything's looking really good. And I think next time we'll come in here, once we have a bit more of a solid flow of lumber, we can reclaim this territory in a bit more of a nicer fashion instead of it looking like an absolute mess. I don't think we'll move the warehouses since that's a lot of material lost if we do that. It would take 15 years to clean all that up, but I would like to clean a little bit of this up. That'll give us a little bit more space to plant some more trees. Probably move this up on top of the reservoir, maybe. That's something that we could definitely do. A little bit closer to the power supply. It really doesn't do anything for us, but it does. It'll be nicer. It'll be cleaner. I would also like to start working towards getting ready for our mega power wall, which requires a metric ton of logs, dirt, planks, and metal blocks. And that's a lot more than what we have on standby right now. So we're going to have to get that rectified at some point sooner rather than later. But I'm pretty happy with how things are turning out. We've got a lot of stuff moving in a positive direction. We've got a lot of things going wonderfully. And I am going to swap out a few of these positions and get some of our bioweavers building. And then we can fill this spot in. And then these guys can continue to do all the fun things. And then that will look amazing. Now let's see if we can find a place to store a little bit of our mangroves on this side. Like this, and we'll just go ahead and grab this, wrap that around right there, and this will be our large warehouse for mangroves, and we'll have this as a supply depot. Bada bing, bada boom. I love it. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely awesome. We've got this in, we've got this cleaned up, we've got this captured. We got this all captured, which is amazing. Water is now feeding into here now appropriately. So we are taking over the map slowly but surely, and that makes me really happy. Next time we'll also get over here and tap into these aquifers, and we'll start playing with pressure fluid mechanics, which is going to be a blast. Not really much of a blast. It's not going to be that kind of a pressuristic system, but you know what? Pressurized system, but you know what? It'll be fun. It'll be fine. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate that as well. You guys are absolute amazing individuals. You keep rocking the free world, and we'll see you all in the next episode of TimberPunk 2. I'm out. See ya!
For the glory of our Beaver Overlord, we turn this muddy mouth into glowing delight. Every kid runs wild, every elder eats twice.